البنات ودلع البنات وقهم البنات يا جمالهم. ما تشوف البنات يا عيني عالبنات ده كل العيون بصرهم. شوف البنات ودلع البنات وقهم البنات يا جمالهم. ما تشوف البنات يا عيني عالبنات ده كل العيون بصرهم.
Hi there, my name is Zoe, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the basic technique of a 3/4 shimmy up. So I realized as I was recording the Gawazi shimmy video a few weeks ago that I hadn't actually put out a video on just the basic 3/4 shimmy. The Gawazi shimmy is a type of 3/4 shimmy. I do talk about it in the video, one of my very first videos on hip ups and downs, but it's kind of at the end and doesn't get as much emphasis as I think it needs and as much time to practice. So I'm going to be doing this video on the basic 3/4 shimmy up, and then I will record one on the 3/4 shimmy down. So these are very fundamental belly dance movements that you should definitely know. Then once you get them, you can play with them and do all sorts of variations. So for this particular 3/4 shimmy, I am just going to be using the bending and straightening movement of my knees. So unlike in the hip ups and downs movement where I talk a lot about using the glutes, in this case we are not going to be squeezing our glutes. We're going to have the glutes relaxed. That's going to enable us to go faster eventually. So if you do squeeze your glutes with this, as you can see, you get a much sharper movement, and you can do a 3/4 shimmy with a glute squeeze, definitely, but it is harder to go faster. So you just want to bend and straighten your legs here to practice, and you really want to get in the habit of feeling that connection of the knee to the hip, so that every time you straighten your knee, the hip comes up, and when you bend the knee, the hip comes down. So even though you do use your obliques, you don't want to be really thinking about crunching the obliques again. You really want the movement to be driven by the knee, and then the hips are kind of coming along for the ride, going up and down. You really want to have a vertical movement here. This is not pushing out. In the Gawazi shimmy, you do have more of an out movement. Here, you really want to keep it all centered. So you want to make sure that your weight stays centered as you're practicing. And then what we're going to do, once we kind of have that feeling in our body, knees connected to the hips, going up and down, is we are going to step. And as we step, we straighten here. Yeah? So now we're doing the same thing as before, but we're just stepping, taking our weight off the other foot as we do this. But we still have the vertical movement in the hips being driven by the straightening of the knee. So every time you step, your knee straightens. Here, I can show you from the side, and that's going to drive the hip up. Again, it's not going to be necessarily a huge movement, but just getting that feeling in your body, stepping and straightening, letting the hip come up. Now we're going to make that 3/4. So the reason that these shimmies are called 3/4 is because you're doing 3 hip movements in a count of 4. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and there's a pause. Even when it's fast, it doesn't seem like there's a pause. There is. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to step with the hip up, and then we are going to bend the standing leg. So remember, we straightened it when we stepped. Now we're going to bend it. That's going to bring our hip down and then straighten. So that's 3 hip movements. Straightening, hip comes up. Bending, hip comes down. Straightening, hip comes up. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Up, down, up. Straighten, bend, straighten. Straighten, bend, straighten. Straighten, bend, straighten. Straighten, bend, straighten. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now you see why it's called a 3/4 shimmy. 3 hip movements for every step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Try it at this speed. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, not too big. Relax those glutes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And eventually, you can even get to really speed it up so it's really a shimmy. Now, this shimmy can be done at a lot of different speeds. So definitely start out slow to really get that movement and slowly work your way up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can try with different types of music. And then eventually you can try also moving with it, walking around in a circle, or front and back, or doing a box step. This is also typical in the Gawazi shimmy. And then you can also try on your toes, on releve. So a lot of different variations you can do with that. But we are just going to drill, let's see, we'll drill flat, 1, 2, 3, here, coming forwards, and then coming back. And then we'll try drilling as well, releve, coming forwards and coming back. Or if you want to just keep going on flat feet, you can do that as well. But if you feel like you want a little bit of an extra challenge, go up on your toes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, starting out slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's drill that with some music. Also, I'm going to do it at different speeds. So I'll start out doing it slowly, just like we did just now. And then I will do it double time and speed up. You can follow me and do it double time, or if you don't feel comfortable at that speed, go back and stay with the slow speed until you get more comfortable with that. So let's put on some music and do some shimmying. So that was the 3/4 shimmy on the ups. Again, basic belly dance movement, very important to know. We will be looking at 3/4 on the downs soon, which is a bit harder, but I do hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. If you have questions or comments, Please feel free to write me. I would love to hear from you. Also make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more updates on other videos. Share with your friends if you'd like. Thank you so much for watching and happy practicing.